The Stalled Ox by Hector Hugh Munro. Theophil Eshley was an artist by profession, a cattle painter by force of environment. It is not to be supposed that he lived on a ranch or a dairy farm, in an atmosphere pervaded with horn and hoof, milking stool and branding iron. His home was in a park-like, villa-dotted district that only just escaped the reproach of being suburban. On one side of his garden there abutted a small picturesque meadow, in which an enterprising neighbour pastured some small picturesque cows of the Channel Island persuasion. At noonday in summer-time the cows stood knee-deep in tall meadow grass, under the shade of a group of walnut trees, with the sunlight falling in dappled patches on their mouse-sleek coats. Eshley had conceived and executed a dainty picture of two reposeful milch cows in a setting of walnut tree and meadow grass and filtered sunbeam, and the Royal Academy had duly exposed the same on the walls of its summer exhibition. The Royal Academy encourages orderly, methodical habits in its children. Eshley had painted a successful and acceptable picture of cattle, drowsily picturesquely under walnut trees, and as he had begun, so of necessity he went on. His Noontide Piece, a study of two dun cows under a walnut tree, was followed by A Midday Sanctuary, a study of a walnut tree with two dun cows under it. In due succession there came Where the Gadflies Cease from Troubling, The Haven of the Herd, and A Dream in Dairyland, studies of walnut trees and dun cows. His two attempts to break away from his own tradition were signal failures. Turtle doves alarmed by sparrowhawk and wolves on the Roman Campagna came back to his studio in the guise of abominable heresies, and Eshley climbed back into grace and the public gaze with A Shaded Nook Where Drowsy Milkers Dream. On a fine afternoon in late autumn he was putting some finishing touches to a study of meadow weeds, when his neighbour, Adela Pingsford, assailed the outer door of his studio with loud peremptory knockings. "There is an ox in my garden," she announced in explanation of the tempestuous intrusion.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?